The 6th set will be played on Newkirk. Spawning in the bottom left-hand position, the blue Protoss from Samsung Khan. Can he break his losing streak like Shine did? His name is Stork.
His opponent spawns on the bottom right-hand position, and he needs to win this game to make sure KT Roaster brings the match to the ace game. His name is Crazy, playing for KT Roaster, spawning as Red Zerg.
Now, like we mentioned at the beginning of the cast, Samsung Khan, they are pretty far in the negative as far as points go, so they just need to get those victories. So it would be great for them to get the win here and not have to worry about the mind games of the ace match. But if it goes to the ace match and Samsung Khan still wins, it's still going to be overall pretty much the same kind of victory for Samsung Khan. So
yeah, they don't need to worry about getting a 4-2, 4-1. All they need is a win in the end. It's actually KT Roaster who wants to run away further away from SK Telecom T1 and STXO, as there is a nice, still around 10 game difference between the two teams around there, and the game difference meaning the match plus minus difference.
Yeah. All right, well, I like that Crazy was scouting for proxy gateways. He was, like, I guess, really paranoid about that. Stork not going to do that this game, though. And Stork, he is known as a player that would be willing to pull that off, or at least attempt it. So I guess I gotta respect Crazy for studying Stork and coming to the conclusion that, you know what, this is something that I have to worry about, and I don't lose anything by sending out an early drone to scout a little bit and then bring back the mine. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that.
If he didn't see the probe, he would have gone for the hatchery at the natural right away. He was thinking about the 15 hatchery.
Whoa.
To scout around a little bit and then go for it.
Interesting.
But look at this. Crazy. He's going to get his natural at around this area. He doesn't want the hatchery to be delayed.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, it wouldn't have been delayed. The probe is already kind of going away.
Well, he didn't know where the probe was exactly, so that's why he just right-clicked on that area. Maybe he saw a glimpse of it, but he was already there, so he's like, why not?
Interesting. I wonder if this is going to, if this was done on purpose or as a reaction to what Stork has been doing with this early probe. We do have the Nexus about halfway done. The Forge is going to complete here, and Stork will get some cannons up to defend against these 4 Zerglings here. Getting his gateway before that, but he's going to have a solid wall off right here. And the Queen on the way for Crazy as well. Of course, he has his spawning pool completed.
The Zerglings are already out on the way. That was 4 Zerglings, and the cannon went up, which means that Stork, he needs to get some of these Zerglings out of position, because if all the 4 Zerglings get to the natural, they're going to sneak inside the main base, given the cannon timing.
Yep, that's true. Alright, Stork. Oh. The camera is just all around on the Zerg side. I'm just curious to see from Stork's angle what's going on here. He's going to need to make a pylon here.
Well, that's only
nice block.
Yeah, nice block, and that's only 2 Zerglings. Yeah, remember that.
That was a pretty good reaction there from Stork. He's going to go ahead and make a core there, complete his wall off.
There we go.
Yeah, very nice. All right, we have the other hatchery being built from Crazy, so he is going to go for a standard 3 hatch opening here.
Here's an interesting fact from KT Roaster's lineup today. Every single player who has better than a 60% win rate in Pro Leagues this season has been taken out. Stats, Zest, and Flash all have better than a 60% win rate. Players who don't have the 60% win rate, such as Hitman and Puzzle, they won their game today.
Puzzle actually had like a 0% win rate.
He did.
Now it's 50% though. Up the Zerglings are going to go ahead and pick off that scouting probe. I'm still perplexed by the positioning of that 3rd base a little bit. But
well, like I said, he didn't know where the probe was, and he got a glimpse of it, but he just wanted to put the hatchery over there. Just making sure that it's not going to get delayed at all. So now it's going to be a standard game between the 2 players.
Yep. Standard, as you can say, we have that Stargate on the way for Stork here. So most likely we'll go in the Phoenix. He could go for the Void Ray tech. I think he wants to take a 3rd base pretty soon here. He's getting a sentry behind this as well.
He wants to hide it away from the Zerglings a little bit. But I don't know if the probe actually got scouted, because I don't see any vision from Stork in that area. I like how Stork is actually taking the rock out after putting his ult over there, because last time when we saw a player who decides to go for that without any probe blocking over there, it was Rain.
Okay, yeah. He ended up winning the game anyway.
He ended up winning the game anyways, but as a Protoss player, that's something that you do not want to allow at all.
Nice sneaky scouting from Stork here. He's just getting his probe in everywhere. He wanted to double check that third base.
And here's the thing, he doesn't know where the third hatchery is. Because the hatchery was placed out of position, he didn't see anything at the natural.
He did see the creep.
He did see the creep now.
Yeah. Alright, we have Phoenix on the way. And another one just killed off that Overlord. They're getting +1 attack from Stork's side. He's getting another sentry as well. And this probe will eventually fall to these lings unless some Phoenix come in and lift it up to save it.
This is really solid play from Crazy. He's making sure that, I mean, yeah, he did allow the scouting to happen inside the main base, but once he sees the probe, he's not going to let it go until he gets it.
You know what I've noticed from both of these players this game? They have both been playing, I think, a little bit safer than usual.
Well, think about this. Stork didn't see the hatchery at the natural expansion for a long time, so he is forced to play safe. Crazy doesn't know what Stork is going for because he didn't get a scouting inside the main base.
A lot of spores on the way here. The Phoenix are going to be able to do a little bit of harassment, but not a lot.
So it's a little bit more commitment into the spore crawlers. Zerg players usually went for the 1 spore and a queen right next to it, but a lot of players these days are getting double spore instead of 1 single spore.
That's so they can cover everywhere on the middle line. You don't ever have the Phoenixes kind of moving in from a weird angle and getting a few free kills because your spine or spore crawler can't root up and then reroute back down in the right position without the Phoenix running away beforehand.
And finally they realize this, they're like, oh, Phoenixes can attack the drones in my gas outside of the spore's range. Uh-oh. Better get 2 instead of 1.
I remember that we didn't really see any type of Phoenix macro like that until the Kesper players joined the scene.
Yeah, actually it was a style of play that players decided to go for, except it just didn't work out well for other players. And these Kesper players, they try to push for the Phoenix play, and they started making it work. Instead of overcommitting to the air units, they started getting only Phoenixes, use it like Corsairs to get some early advantage against their opponent, picking up a few drones, a few Overlords here and there, and just use it for scouting information.
Exactly.
And keeping those Phoenixes alive is also crucial for Protoss player because it cuts out any mutaplay from the Zerg player.
If you see a few of the Phoenix get picked off, then there's a lot higher chance of the Zerg going to muta. And the Phoenix killed off a few more workers there, going to back out now. Hydras are complete and shown. The tech has been revealed. Also, Hydra speed on the way. Aspire is in the works here. Robotics Bay going down as well. Immortal production starting here, as well as the +1 armor from the Protoss player.
So until Stork gets out his first Colossus, he needs to have nice force fields because he took a third that's closer to the Zerg base, you know, in that little area. And on Newkirk Redevelopment Precint, the patched version for Kespa, there's actually a larger area where the Zerg players can attack from.
Nice control from Stork there, backing out before the...
Nice reaction timing.
Yeah, the reaction timing was good. And, you know, I'm starting to see how this hatchery at the third was useful. Look at how far the creep spread is. It's already hitting the halfway point on the map, and that's just due to where he put the base.
It works out eventually, and it's a little nice advantage that Crazy has.
Nice.
You don't see until like 12 minutes into the game, you're like, oh, creeps over there. Behind this, he is getting Swarm Host.
Yeah, interesting going for the Swarm Host here. The +1 attack about the finish for the Zerg player. 7 Swarm Hosts on the way. That's a pretty solid number there. And there's something to point out. Stork can't really punish him for this now. I mean, he's doing a good job harassing, though. I will give him that.
Yeah, Crazy is pretty much thinking at this point he's going to get the 7 Swarm Hosts out, and he's going to transition into late game Zerg style, where the Zerg player gets a lot of Swarm Hosts out and then transitions into those units that counter whatever the Protoss player has, usually tons of Corruptors against tons of Void Rays. But we did see Zhongbi go for a nice push with tons of Zalas and Immortals as soon as every single Void Rays got taken out, so Crazy still needs some ground army against what Stork has.
He definitely does. Okay, we have the +1 melee attack and the +1 armor on the way now for Crazy. Lots of additional gateways being built here for Stork.
Stork supply block. A little bit uncharacteristic, and this can actually hurt at a professional level.
That's going to be pretty annoying there. Both players are floating around the same amount of minerals, though. And I have to point out that Stork's been doing a great job at harassing his opponent's base here. They're going to be able to pick up a lot of those workers as well.
He did lose 2 of the Phoenixes, but he's doing a nice job picking up a couple of Hydras here over here and there, and Crazy needs to get out of there. Yeah, definitely. Also reveals his Swarm Host to his opponent's Stork.
Alright, the Phoenix are going to back out now. They've actually managed to get a good amount of kills there. Up to 14 workers destroyed. 2 of the Phoenix remain here, though.
And now look at this, Stork just trying to say you cannot attack from that location. By destroying the rocks over there, and once he gets the observer out, he's gonna slowly deny the creep.
Yep, indeed he does. Alright, we have a lot of corruptors out in the field now, a lot of infestors, some good support with the hydras and the lings, and we have 5 queens total here. I'm curious to see if he's going to add more in. A lot of reinforcement stalkers on the way. Blink is about halfway done. We have the upgrade for the war prisms here to make them move faster, that may be removed.
I like this decision by Stork using the War Prison. This actually puts Zerg out of position. The Zerg players right now, Crazy, he's so focused on harassing the fort base, trying to delay it as long as possible, while getting enough corruptors out and setting up a nice line in the middle of the map for the late game Zerg versus Protoss play. The War Prism allows Stork to put in a lot of zealots inside the main base. He needs to make sure that doesn't go scouted from Crazy.
Nice job there by Stork. Excuse me, Crazy. He was able to delay that 3rd base. He had forced to cancel on it. Getting the 2-2 upgrade now for our Zerg player. And the +2 attack about to finish for Stork as well. Lots of spines, up to 8 are going down now.
I'm surprised that Stork is not adding in any Void Rays or any Stargate at this point. He has the minerals to do so. He's slightly supply blocked at this point. No cannons at the fort base either, which means that the Zerglings are going to force to cancel once again.
Ooh, Stork also floating a lot of money here. And there's 3 spine crawlers in the main base, so these zealots are going to do nothing.
Yeah, but that also allows Stork to warp in zealots at the fort base, so the Zerglings are not going to eat away on the Nexus.
Guardian Shield going down here. Looks like Stork wants to move across the map, clear out some of this creep here. Is he going to commit to an attack, though? The Corruptor count, very large here, but there's not actually a lot of units to defend these Swarm Hosts beyond a few spines.
Yeah, the Greater Spire is almost finishing up, and the Broodlords are going to be made pretty soon, but Stork can hit a nice timing before that. He is taking out the Locust, but the Stalker count is not that high, so he's going to pull back slightly, and that allows Crazy
Hold
to
on
get
a
7
second, man.
Broodlords.
Look at this. Broodlords.
Yeah, because Stork pulled back, Crazy can make 7 Broodlords, and he's going to get away with it without Stork going for a strong push before those units come out.
That's going to be the hardest thing for Stork to deal with. Once he realizes these Broodlords are here, he needs to get the Tempests out. Like, he can't do anything else besides that.
The problem is he's not even thinking about switching into Stargate. There's only 1 Stargate out for Stork at this point. No Fleet Beacon, no Void Rays in the main army.
Yeah. Stork's doing a great job harassing, though. I want to point out that.
He's doing a nice job harassing, and he knows that warping in those zealots inside the main base is not going to be an option. And Crazy revealing the Broodlords. Not too sure about that.
Okay. We have Templar Archives go down in response from Stork. Looks like he would rather use High Templar to deal with the Broodlords.
He knows that going for the Tempest is a nice decision, but it's such a long time before the Broodlords can actually come out. I mean, excuse me, Tempest can come out and actually get into the main battle. So he's going to use Archons and Storms while trying to buy as much time as possible with the Colossus.
Stork looking like he wants to attack here, but is it the right decision? Both players are pretty much maxed out right now. It's going to be a big free army against a heavily tech army. Stork moving in here. The Swarm Hosts burrowed. The Broodlords are now joining the fight as well. There's some Hydras in the back there. Stork just focusing on that expansion, backing up behind this.
Nice play.
Excellent
and
play.
Also,
oh,
that puts
sick,
units out of position.
Sick. This is exactly what Stork needs to do if he wants to win this game. Attack multiple locations at once. Focus fire those important buildings down. He should go for either the spawning pool, the hive, something.
But
excellent job as well. Killed off that hatchery.
He was to focus on microing his main army at the fort base over there, and he actually took out the 5th hatchery from Crazy. The Swarm will still come back to the main base and defend against the Zealots, but Stork is doing a nice job just denying the expansion from Crazy. And this actually puts Crazy out of position. He can actually go for a blink underneath the Broodlords, but I don't know how many Infestors are out on the field for the Funkles.
Stork already almost maxed out again. Crazy at 185 supply. He's still in a good position. He didn't lose too much economy from that attack because, for the most part, that base was mined out. But these additional Zealot reinforcements are just going to be so annoying to deal with. Stork's still not opting to go for the Tempest. He's just going to try the win through killing off his opponent's economy.
He can do it if the units are out of position, but he needs to make sure that he makes this work. The Brewers already caught the Zealots at the fort base, but this also means that there's no army at the fort base of Crazy.
Well, there's no Mothership Core for recall, but that's a good amount of spines and spores there. They're going to get picked off, though, from the looks of things.
And all he's going to do is use the Stalkers to get some Spine Crawlers, and once the main army from Crazy arrives, just try to blink out of there. He's trying to throw away some of the Gateway army over here because he can remake it as soon as possible, but losing the Colossus and the High Templars is not an option at this point.
You can't lose those. Stork's economy is looking like it's in great shape, though. And he's constantly harassing these hatcheries. Will he actually end up killing off that fourth base? It's really low. Is he going to get it? Yes! The base goes down.
And you know, last time when you said the econ for Crazy, it didn't hurt, this time it hurt a lot.
It did.
It just lost a mining base. And now, War Person going inside the main base, but it's actually Stork who reacts first. And the hatchery getting denied once again. The Brewers are out of position. He's just utilizing the mobility to himself perfectly in this game against Crazy. Yes. And look at this, Crazy. The Brewers are in the middle. Stork is like, okay, I know where the Brewers are, so I know not to put my DTs into the third base right now.
And he's going to send them to the main base here. The Corruptors, oh, they don't spot that.
Crazy today, not good reaction timing. In fact, it's Stork who has nice reaction timing, but both players are focusing in the middle of the map.
It looks like Stork has to back off here. Too many Broodlords and Corruptors in that battle composition there. Backing up to that expansion. This could be the turning point, actually. The Corruptor count really impressive.
Stork just needs to survive this one timing from Crazy. Even if it costs him the Nexus in that area.
He needs to get the Tempest. Like, I feel like that's the key
what
here.
What he's going to go for is he needs to use the Blink Stalkers against the Broodlords. That's the only answer that he has. Because he decides to go for that unit composition.
Stork's harassment here has been amazing this game. He's killed off hatcheries left and right. The Stalkers are starting to dwindle the number of Corruptors here. The Broodlords.
But he does give up the Nexus, but he didn't lose critical number from his main army. But he doesn't have a high mineral count, which means that he only needs to depend on the Archons and the Stalkers to take out the Broodlords. Granted, there's no Infestor with the main army from Crazy, and that's only 9 Broodlords. So if those units get caught out of position, then he could blink under. But this is an area that Stork does not want to engage into. The Broodlords, they are completely safe from the Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, utilizing that high ground there is helping him out a lot. Stork's going to eventually have to take another base, though. Crazy doing a great job at slowly retaking the bases around the map. And even though he's been constantly attacked in the main base, he remains vigilant. He survived. He's kept a cool head here. And he still has the superior army composition that Stork is he just wants to use Blink Stalkers and Storm against.
Well, those two Broodlords are caught out of position. What is Stork going to do? He's going to come back and defend in this small choke.
Well, he's getting a good surface area on the Broodlord. Storm's
going
down.
But it's not going to be enough.
Storms.
But there's too many queens underneath, and nice transfuse on the Broodlords, which means that the Zerg army is going to tear apart Stork's third base.
Well, look at that. There's a huge Blinkstalker reinforcement here. The Broodlords, they're pretty far spaced out here. This third base, if it goes down, I think that's going to be the turning point here for Stork, blinking forward, trying to do as much damage as possible. The amount of Locusts and Broodlings, though, is just overwhelming Stork at this point. He needs something to deal with the Broodlords from a long range, and he only has Blink Stalkers here.
He has nothing else. I mean, he only has Archons, Blink Stalkers, so third base is down. He's down to one mining base at this point, and this is gonna be a slow death for Stork as his opponent Crazy is slowly pushing forward to the win. For the win.
Stork, I think at this point, the best thing he can do is try to do a base race.
Well, he is going for it right now. He's trying to abuse the mobility right now, and what Crazy has to do is build a ton of Spine Crawlers.
He just needs to build a lot of defense, maybe even send the Swarm Host back to defend, because he doesn't have an Observer in this army from what I can see here.
And what Stork needs to do is stop warping in extra units, send the probes all around the map, and start building pylons. That's what he needs to do, because the main army composition from Crazy right now is only Broodlords. There is some Queens and Hydras mixed in. The Zerglings are going to be annoying, but just leave one Archon next to the pylon.
Well, I mean, it looks like Stork wants to try to defend his last base he has here.
That's not going to work out.
It's not going to work out at all.
He needs to go for it.
Okay, it looks like Stork's decided to turn around the Stalker, or excuse me, Spine Crawler count, though. It's pretty large, and Stork will be able to eventually deal with that with minimal losses here.
Right now, Stork has up to 500 minerals. He needs to, like I said, start building proxy pylons or assimilators around the map. That's what he needs to do. look at this. Crazy, he's already prepared for the base race. He's already sending drones to his opponent's main base and going to try to build a hatchery or even some geysers around the map where it's so tricky for Stork to actually blink into to snipe the hatchery or the geyser.
That Spire goes down. This base will go down as well momentarily here. Overall, the army composition is just too good for Crazy, though. That's the thing. That's the real kicker. And there's actually... Stork's just going to lose the base race.
Yes, this is... okay, now he's sending the probes out, and he needs to start building some buildings here and there.
All right, he's got one probe here. He can build a few units. He's got to build them soon, though.
He needs to start building it right now. This is the end. Like, this is all he has right now. I'm pretty sure something is being made right now. There has to be.
What is he doing? Stork, you need to build a building!
Whoa, that's...
oh, okay, he's got one over there.
Don't panic because that's not a production tab. That's the building tab.
Oh, okay. I was freaking out there a little bit.
Dude, calm down. He
still has the pylons revealed, and...
He just needs to start building more.
We don't have a lot of buildings left here for Crazy, actually. The problem is up. Oh, that's the last building for Stork, I think, right now. Did he build anything else? It looks like he did.
And he built it next to the Archons over there, but the Archons needs to start covering the pylon.
The Archons need to go into the main base. There's one. Is that the last?
No, they can't go into the main base because, okay, now the pylon's over there. The Archon can move inside the main base now.
Top left hand of the map, Crazy's remaking a hatchery.
Like I said, he saved the drones and... Okay, the Brewlords can... Excuse me, Swarmlords can actually finish the last pylon inside the main base, but no, there's another pylon being made, and the Locusts are just eating away on the Stalker, so he can't even take out the hatchery inside the main base. That's it.
That's it. GG. Stork falls to Crazy, bringing it to the ace match.
You know, he told himself he was going to go for the base race, but he decided a little bit too late, and he was really being hesitant to go for it.
I gotta say this. I'm really disappointed with these Protoss players that see the Broodlords and don't build the unit that was designed to counter them.
I mean, Stork was trying to make something work without going for the Tempest, and he was doing a nice job, except he started fighting in those locations where the Broodlords would not get sniped at all.
All right, so the score currently 3-3 between Samsung's Khan and KT Rolster. We're gonna go into an ace match, man.
Who is it going to be? Is it John B? Yes, it is.
John B being sent out.
Saying, even if Cess comes out, I have a prepared build on Belshire Vestige.
All right, so we have John B. Is it going to be Flash? Yes, it is going to be Flash. We are going to have a rematch from Set 3 on Whirlwind.
Flash was laughing. It's like, oh my god, this is not happening again.
Okay, guys, we have to go into a quick commercial break. When we get back, the ace match between Samsung Khan and KT Rolster. It's going to be John B versus Flash. Don't miss it.